Hi, guys. Welcome to the second episode of the Brave and the Boys podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Jordan.
Yeah, we're coming at you for our second episode. First one with an intro, so progress.
We're already halfway better than last time.
Yeah, we're just a couple of nerds who want to talk comic books, movies, TV, stuff like that. And honestly, I just view this podcast as an excuse to buy new comic books to justify new
Dude, I
purchases.
need I need reasons every week to buy more books.
Uh,
That's not proof enough as it is already.
yes, I would show you my collection, but my collection is in storage right now, sadly.
Mm.
Um, but yes, your collection is looking very sexy with those. What are those out of print BPRDs over there?
Oh yeah, the whole set of BPRD hardcover.
So we had a couple things we're going to talk about today. So what do they have to look forward to?
So today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite comic books out there, which is The Dark Knight Returns. We also are going to go over a book that I'm reading right now, which is going to be the Infinite Crisis Omnibus. And hopefully we have enough time to round up to talk a little bit about the season finale for tomorrow for Invincible.
Invincible is fantastic, and there's actually some Invincible news that dropped today that we can break.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. So you guys go ahead and follow us on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube, or go ahead and follow us on Spotify. And hopefully we can get this episode on Apple Podcast and Google Podcast. That'll be my goal for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys, let's get this started. So, Dark Knight Returns. I am one of those arrogant people that when someone tells me a song is really good or a movie is really good or a book is really good, like it's the best thing ever, I kind of just roll my eyes and because it's like I didn't discover it. So I kind of like push myself away from reading it or listening to it or watching it because it can't be as good as everybody says. So I foolishly haven't read The Dark Knight Returns before. I've watched the movie and I love it, the animated one. I think it's fantastic. I love me some thick Batman, some thick Batman.
This is the beginning of actual thick Batman.
Yes, the
Yeah.
origins of thick Batman. Um, but I finally decided to read The Dark Knight Returns. I heard some good reviews on it from some YouTubers that I like.
And me.
And yes, and Jordan. I
Yes.
said YouTubers that I like, and you're a YouTuber now.
Am I?
Yeah, we're basically influencers now.
I don't think I'm a YouTuber.
I mean, we're podcast extraordinaires.
True,
Um,
true.
uh, but I started The Dark Knight Returns. I'm close to being finished with it, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. One, does it live up to the hype? I guess that's the biggest question.
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%. I
Yeah,
am shocked at how good it is.
it's great. It's, as I said, it's my favorite comic book out there.
I feel like I've always had like a weird negative connotation to it because I feel like that like Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen get heralded as like the start of like gritty comics and like dark comics and like serious adult contemporary comics. Yet I've always liked comics that tend to be like more hopeful, like like the rebirth promise of comics I enjoy. So I've always
Mhm.
felt like it was a bad thing, but holy fuck is it good. Like the way it's told through like Bruce's internal monologue, almost like he in the beginning when he's like dealing with the addiction of like he misses being Batman and he's like addicted to it. And cut to with like the way like the news keeps coming in and you just get to see stories of Gotham and like how dark the world is getting and like it's crazy good.
Definitely the news portion of Dark Knight Returns is a pretty good commentary on how we're always attached to watching something,
Yeah.
which is where that talking head comes from, at least in comics, because before this, that really wasn't a portion that you would see. Whereas
Yeah.
after this, oh my goodness, are there
Yeah.
so many comics that takes the same style of
Yeah.
narrative dialogue and trying to say that, hey, we're all attached to something.
Yeah. I think that's an excellent point. And I think it's one of those things where so many things have been taken from and influenced by the Dark Knight Returns
Mhm.
that it's easy to forget that this was the origins of them. And like I guess like when I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, this has been used in Dark Knight Rises, or this has been used in this animated Batman movie, or this live action Batman movie, like the exact quotes even. And it's like, oh, like I know that line. Now I know where it comes from. but it's also like when it came out, this was an original. Like this was brand new, and it's so much respect goes into it.
Oh yeah, and so many iconic scenes come from The
Oh
Dark
yeah,
Knight Returns. You have a variety of things. I don't know. We're trying to save from spoilers. I mean, it's a comic that came out in the 80s,
yeah, that's like what
and
30 years ago, even though it feels like the 80s was 20 years ago. I think
it's
we can.
almost 40.
I think we can talk about that because we both read it.
We've both read it, and there's a movie of it. If people haven't read the comic,
There's an animated movie, and there's also it also feels like Dark Knight Returns could have been the only comic book Zack Snyder's ever read.
I mean, Batman v Superman is just a live action adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
So I think we could talk about spoilers for it.
yeah, we can get into
Um,
some spoilers.
so most definitely it has the iconic fighting scene between Batman and Superman, which before this, if I remember right, wasn't really a fight. Everything before was them being friends.
Yeah,
Um, this is kind of the spawn of it all, and I think it's one of the most well done fights out there for Batman v Supes.
I it's weird because Dark Knight Returns is such a Batman story at its core, but the way he handled Miller handles Superman is like super impressive.
Mhm.
Like from the opening scene of like when he's in the president's office, like the White House, and it's just like his logo, you know,
Yes,
or when he
yes.
first comes to Gotham and it's just like a blur, when it's people not knowing what's going on, and it's crazy. Like the way they handle Superman.
Oh, but the way that Batman knows it's him.
Yeah, and he's just
Oh,
annoyed. Like he's just like, no, like not now, not like this is gonna cost me
yes.
hours of work. Like,
It's the most well done Batman Superman fight. I mean, there's other ones that are pretty good, like in Hush and even in Snyder's run, where you have Batman versus the whole Justice League.
yeah,
I don't think any of them hold up to this fight.
yeah. Oh, you mean in Endgame when sorry, was it Joker Endgame, the when the Justice League
The
goes after Batman?
the beginning of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, it's so I've read the first three books of Dark Knight Returns, and I'm hold on, let's see where am I at in this thing. Luckily, we have the absolute okay, the
Oh, you're
absolute
gonna
edition.
my absolute edition, yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I ordered it. And then I immediately canceled the order because I'm trying. I told myself I'm trying to cut back,
And then you
but
reordered it after,
I
right?
think I'm gonna reorder it.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
think I'm
thought.
gonna reorder it. So I'm
Dude,
in book four.
this is one of the comics where I've double dipped. I have the paper trades of
Yeah.
this, and when they finally reprinted the Absolute Edition, I knew I had to buy it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and plus because it was a whale for so long.
Yes.
Um, it was like the whale. So I haven't got to the fight scene yet with Batman and Superman. Batman's on the horse right now, and he's like riding around with and he's like kind of
Oh, with his yes, the Batman gang that he
yeah,
has. It's that's such an inspiring scene that you're on. And if you've seen the movie, you've basically read the comic
yeah,
because they are almost like one-to-one adaptations of each other.
yeah,
Uh, uh, Although I believe on the comic it's still a few changes and it's more like the dialogue based.
yeah. I I feel like I'm less annoyed with Robin in the book than I am in the movie.
Hey Jake, give me a second to pause.
Okay. Not all superheroes wear capes. Jordan just
Some
opened a jar of jelly for
some
his
wear black t-shirts.
yes. So you were saying? Oh yeah.
Yes.
I like Robin in the book a lot more. So for those of you who haven't read The Dark Knight Returns, Robin is this, I think she's like a 13-year-old girl named Chris Kelly.
Harry
Um,
Kelly.
Carrie Kelly, sorry, Carrie Kelly. I read the book today and I already forgot her name. Um, and it's weird. Like I feel like in so much media of Batman, like he's so, especially post Jason Todd's death, he's
Mhm.
so anti Robin or anti new people being Robin, like new people entering his war and crime. But he's I feel like he mentions early on that he hasn't talked to Dick in like 20 years.
Mhm.
And there's multiple times when you can see how much he's longing for Dick and longing for, it sounded dirtier than I meant it. but he's longing for Robin, for his
Yes.
backup and for that optimism and that hope.
Hmm.
And she totally represents that. And almost from the get-go, immediately, he like knows she's perfect for it.
Yeah. Oh, she's the inspiration for the latter half of the first arc.
Yeah.
She's the reason why he goes back and he goes and he defeats the mutants after he's been demolished by
Yeah.
the leader mutant. And actually, to go over a point, Jake, because you're close on it.
Mhm.
Yes, this is actually the book that introduces the first ever Robin's death before Death in the Family.
Wait, this predated
This
Death in the Family?
predates Death in the Family by about, I believe it's 2 years.
That's
So
crazy. So is this where they got the
yes,
idea from?
you know, I assume so, but it's never been actually stated or said that this is the inspiration. It's more like Miller and the Batman writing team of the 80s kind of came to the same conclusion.
Yeah, because
But
people, I from what I know from that time period, people did not like Jason Todd.
he was a different Robin from who Dick was.
Yeah.
So, but yes, that's the fun fact about this is that this is the first ever Robin death
Oh,
before the
you were
first Robin death.
excited to tell me that. That
I
that's
was I
I'm
was bottling it.
yeah, you were like you were waiting. You were wanting me to bring it up as much as that's funny. That's crazy. I had
Yes.
no idea.
Mhm.
Um I that again even more things that they take from the Dark Knight Returns, which is
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
impressive. Um
Uh, but phenomenal book about inspiration. Um, Carrie Kelly definitely is the leading woman of inspiration for the entire book, and as you read throughout the sequels that follow, uh, even DK2, which is a hard read,
yeah,
but it's necessary if you want to read the Frank Miller's Batman. Um, she still kind of holds that position, which
interesting.
I'm pretty sure you don't know the full story of DK2 since it's not in other forms of media, it's just a comic.
Yeah, I is DK2 or is it DK3? Whichever one. I saw like one cover with Superman and he just has a clear erection like
That,
on the cover and it's
that yes, that is a DK3.
okay.
And that is
Because I've never
Frank
wanted to read a book
Miller's.
more.
Yes. I own the absolute edition of DK3 when you're ready.
Is there a DK2 Absolution?
You're holding it. In the absolute for The Dark Knight
Okay.
Returns is also the sequel
So
to.
I was flipping through the book because I'm on book 4 right now.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of book left to go.
Yes.
And so I'm flipping through the back. Holy, am I allowed to curse on this podcast? We don't have a sponsor, right?
we we don't have a sponsor, but for whenever we do, this would be a perfect time for our sponsor segment brought to you by whoever wants to fucking sponsor us.
InStockTrades.com.
It's cheapgraphicnovels.com, Audible.
I tried to order from Cheap Graphic Novels the other day, yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like a big order setup process, and I'm trying to figure out how to let them know that near mint condition sent me so I could get the free shipping, and I couldn't
You just go
figure it
to the
out.
very end.
I
At the
couldn't
very
figure it
end.
out. I did. It said how like who sent you here, and I said near mint condition, and then
And yeah, you
they
just type it in near mint condition.
and I didn't get free shipping. They still were charging me for my shipping.
It's because it's not free shipping on the first one, it's free shipping on the following one.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know because that's what I had to do because I bought 2 books from them.
Oh yeah.
I bought the Akira book set, and then I don't remember, but I bought another book from them,
Okay.
another Opni.
What was I saying before this? Oh yeah. Oh my god, the art in Dark Knight 2 looks awful. I was
It's
flipping through it and I'm like, why does this art look like garbage? Like the colors look like garbage. The art looks like garbage.
okay. The colors I kind of understand because this was during the early 2000s where they're switching from actual colored art to digital color,
Okay.
where that's where they were trying to get freaky with it. And I feel
Yeah.
like things like Batman Beyond made inspiration where it had the flashing scenes of a solid color,
Yeah.
but the art, yeah, it's horrible.
Is it so is the story good or is the story also horrible?
No, it's bad. It's
Okay.
so bad.
Okay.
There's definitely 100%. There's times where even Frank Miller forgets what the previous page was even talking about.
Okay. So what you're saying is it'll be more interesting to talk about the Dark Knight Returns too.
Oh yeah. So I gotta reread it to refresh because I blink certain scenes out, and you'll
Yeah,
see the mutant orphans later.
yeah,
Um, but DK1, solid, love it, best comic book that's ever been made. DK2, it's probably my worst of the worst.
yeah.
I can't think of another one I
Like
disliked
more?
that much. Exactly.
I don't know. Heroes in Crisis is up there.
I still haven't read Heroes in Crisis. I know the ending.
Gorgeous art though.
It looks good. It's who did Heroes in Crisis? Who
Was
did the
it
art for it?
Clay? Was it? Hold on. I think Clay.
I
Let
almost
me
said
see.
Chris Claremont.
All right, it's an X-Men. It's an
what,
X-Men thing all of a
what
sudden.
wouldn't even make sense.
Artist, heroes in Crisis. I'm gonna guess Clayman. Let's see.
It's probably Clayman.
It's Clayman.
Yeah.
The Clayman. And hold on, is it Mitch Gerald? Hold on.
Is it?
Uh,
I
no,
thought it was.
pencilers are Clayman and Mitch Gerards, Lee Weeks, but the main guy is Clayman, so it's
Mm,
Clayman.
mm.
Art by
Yeah.
Clayman.
Yeah. The art looks phenomenal.
Like that, there's like I think there's a scene. I don't know if it's Harley or if she's with Poison Ivy, but she's like laying in like um flowers, and it's like one of the most gorgeous pieces I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Gorgeous, but horrible, horrible story. So Dark Knight Returns is worse because not only does it have a horrible story, it has horrible art.
A mix of everything. The story's all over the place. He had different messages to tell because it also book one and I believe book two was something like a year gap between each other, and
Okay.
in that year was 9/11.
Oh,
So he had some comments to make after the fact.
because they do talk a lot of, at least in Dark Knight One, like the Twin Towers of Gotham.
Yeah, yes. 9/11 doesn't happen in the book, but he wants to make commentary about certain restrictions that were placed afterwards.
Oh,
So definitely a book that we're gonna have to talk about
okay.
eventually.
So I have to. So what you're saying is I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm gonna have to read it.
You can't have the best without also having the worst.
Okay.
So but I don't know what went on with his art. I mean, Frank Miller was never a perfect artist.
Yeah.
But books like Dark Knight Returns and Sin City, phenomenal looking art.
Yeah.
Definitely different than all the other people that were out there, at least at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what happened. uh, he does art now. That's where you get the Superman erection from.
Okay.
He only did variants of the cover.
And then it's Frank Ramirez Jr.
It's he only did, I believe, one issue if I remember correctly, and then for the actual DK3, there is a separate artist.
Okay.
I'll double check to be sure later, and
Yeah.
by next time we do this, I will know.
Okay, guys. So all of our viewers, all two of our viewers,
All
if
Isabel and Paul
yes, I think Lupe said she watched a portion of
and
it.
Lupe. Thank
Yeah.
you.
She also followed us on Twitter,
Ooh,
right?
that puts us at 2 Twitter followers,
I don't even
me
think I
and
don't even
Lupe.
I don't even think I follow us on Twitter.
I'm pretty sure you don't, because you's a bitch.
I'm a garbage fan. That's confirmed, guys. Jake is the garbage fan.
Yeah.
But Dark Knight Returns, it's awesome. It's been hard because I've been reading it on my lunch breaks at work, and you kind of get a kick out of this. Someone walked by and they doesn't know much about comics. He's like, "Oh, are you doing homework?" Like he thought it was a textbook. And I'm like,
It'll feel like homework when you reach Dark Knight Strikes
yeah,
Again.
yeah. um, but like it's been hard because I've been eating and like I don't want to get like greasy fingers on like your beautiful pages.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a couple fingerprints when you
Mm-hmm.
get it back.
I look forward to that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But no, for sure. Thank you for letting me borrow it. I couldn't
Of
imagine
course.
reading this story in any other format.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me I should read Dark Knight Returns too in the trades.
Maybe, just maybe. I have
Yeah.
that too if you
Because
want it.
I feel like I don't want the art to be bigger than it needs to be.
Oh, trust me, those proportions are
Don't
horrific.
don't need if I don't know if I need the oversized format for it.
But speaking of things that we borrowed, I think this leads a perfect segue to a
Our
book that
sponsor.
you let me borrow. No, we don't have sponsors. But if you do, this would be a perfect time for the second mid roll for the sponsor. No, so book you let me borrow, which is Infinite Crisis. I've never had the pleasure of reading the actual story. I know the story,
Yeah.
but I have the pleasure of reading this behemoth of a book.
Oh, look at that thick boy.
And you can tell I'm not even halfway there, but
This
I've
is
definitely
this is
spent
this is big because Jordan hasn't read comics like American comics. What have you been reading? They're called like Tonkubines or something.
no,
Tonkabones or
no.
Tonkabones? What are they called?
I've been reading manga.
But what do they call the manga books? Aren't they called like Tonkabons or something like that?
I know what you're talking about because I know you watched the episode of Near Mint Condition where he actually
Yeah,
says the name.
yeah.
I have no idea what the real name is. I just call it a manga.
Okay, yeah. Jordan hasn't been reading Western comics for what feels like a year.
I've been on and off on hiatus of manga because I've been reading Dragon Ball. Now, when I say Dragon Ball, I don't mean just Dragon Ball. I mean Dragon Ball Z. When you were talking about the mangas, no,
Yeah.
you're talking the whole story itself.
Okay.
Um, I've been on and off of it because Dragon Ball is a hard thing to binge.
Yeah.
Infinite Crisis has been way easier for Dragon Ball. I believe I am on the Namek arc. I'm looking up because I have them right above me.
Okay. I thought you were like trying to remember or you're praying
No, it's
to
right
Lord
above me.
Lord
But yes,
Goku.
it's Takami
Oh,
or Kinkai.
it's the which is the one that looks like a hate crime?
That will be the Namekians.
No, not the Namekians. There's the one that looks like he wears like a turban.
Oh, you're talking about Mr. Popo.
Yeah, Mr. Popo looks like a hate crime, dude. He
Listen,
looks he
Mr.
looks like he
Popo,
belongs in a Tintin comic.
Mr. Popo, favorite character unabridged. I've seen all of the show filler, and I've also seen DBZ Kai. I've watched the bridge multiple times. Just I've never actually read the manga, which
Okay.
is what I'm doing now. It reads way smoother. But this isn't what we're talking about.
Yes,
What we're talking
back to
about
Infinite Crisis.
was Infinite Crisis,
Do you want to?
which
Should we give people a summary on what Infinite Crisis is, what it was?
it's a really hard read because it pulls from deep rooted DC knowledge.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a sequel.
it's a sequel to a lot of things, but primarily it's a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the first ever DC event that happened in the 80s. That is considered to the beginning of what we think now as the current DC universe.
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, another story actually that I haven't had the pleasure of reading myself. I do know the entire story. I know the ending of how it ends and character losses. Um, required. if if you don't read it, you don't know what's happening in Infinite Crisis.
Yes. Infinite
Along,
Crisis is a direct sequel
yes,
that
but
came out what 20 years later.
alongside, yes, it took. This is early 2000s,
Yeah.
whereas Crisis on
86,
Infinite Earths was in
80, 80,
86.
85, 86.
This is also sequel to a lot of other things because you have things like the Omac Project, which originates from JLA Tower of Babel.
Which I just got that oversized hardcover,
I'm jealous because I want one as well. I also want the oversized hardcover of Death in the Family.
which I got as well.
And you put my order for it, right? I know we said it last week.
Oh yeah.
Big, it's only
Come
$25.
on. Can we get Jordan a sponsor so that he can get Death in the Family?
That or we make it a tax write-off.
Yes.
But I think we have to have some kind of income to get from this so I can do that.
Ooh, we gotta have a Patreon or OnlyFans.
Oh, we definitely could have an OnlyFans. I don't know about you, Jake, but this shirt's feeling a little tight.
It is looking. Ooh,
And not in the good ways.
no, you look like it's tight in the good ways. So the Infraction Omnibus, I heard it's one of the better event omnibuses because the events leading into it actually matter.
Mhm.
Just so they know too, I own the book, but I haven't read the book. I've read Infinite Crisis, like the actual event. Was it like 7 issues, 10 issues?
6 or 7, something like that. I'm not even deep enough to be in the actual Infinite Crisis story.
Have you did you get to the beginning with like the shocking death of a fan favorite character?
I've yes. So you're talking. I mean, again, this is a comic book that's from like the early 2000s. It's been about 20 years since it came out. Can we
Yeah.
talk spoilers about it or?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
You're
hold
talking
on. Do you
about
think Isabel will ever read Infinite Crisis Omnibus?
no, no,
Okay, just wanted to make sure we didn't spoil it for her.
no. You're talking about Ted Cord, right?
Yes, the Blue Beetle
Yes, that's actually the first issue in the omnibus.
shows you
Uh,
shows you how far I got into reading my book.
it's legit. The first 80 pages is the one shot of the death of Ted Cord.
Okay,
Um,
was it called The Death of Ted Cord?
no, it's called something fucking else. It's like countdown to infinite crisis number. No, I don't know, some shit like that. Hold on, I could actually look at it because it's right in front of me. Yeah, countdown to infinite crisis.
Wait, is there actually a table of contents?
Not table contents, just
Oh,
so they do the thing of the virgin covers, so it doesn't tell you what
okay.
the cover is, but when you flip it, it actually gets you the credits.
Oh, nice. That's like the
You
smart way to do it.
you got so deep in this book, I see.
I
I
didn't get past.
literally I
I'm
looked.
surprised that book didn't have shrink wrap on when I gave.
Oh, uh,
I think our fans need to know that buying comics and reading comics are two very different hobbies.
just to ask because I didn't do it. Should I have stretched the spine of this fucking
You
omni?
probably should have. You should have
I
stretched.
did
The,
not
go
stretch
stretch.
the spine.
Give it one of those Nestor spine stretches.
Oh no! I can't just let it pop and be disabled for the rest of the day.
Nestor or the book?
I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. Just
Yeah,
pick one and it relates.
breaking that spine like David broken that TV.
Hold on, I think it's time to hear the crack. Then let's see. Oh, oh!
That's a rickety spine.
I, funny enough, opened up actually to the iconic image of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Hell yeah! Is that Dr. Light in the background?
Did I say Crisis? I mean
Infinite
Crisis.
Infinite Crisis.
I'm gonna pull a gem mint and start confusing names real quick.
What does he always say when he mumbles? Jordan talked pretty one day.
Yes, I did.
So you're liking it so far?
It's so good. Um, like I said, you definitely need some behind, not behind the scenes, but like back reading knowledge.
Yeah.
Because yes, right now I'm reading through the Omac Project. Like I said, direct connection to Tower of Babel. Bruce Wayne Batman creates the Omac Project to oversee all the metahumans because they took his memories from him, and he no longer trusts his friends. In this story, the Omac Project gets taken away from him, and Checkmate, the organization, again, deep-rooted DC knowledge is needed. The organization has taken it from him. The new Black King is in control of it, and he's far beyond knowledge because it turns out he's a metahuman, even though his whole organization is about stopping metahumans and keeping them in check. Yeah, pretty good story. I've been liking it so far. I'm on definitely the B story right now, which is the like Suicide Squad without being Suicide Squad.
Is it the Task Force X kind of?
It is, but it's not. It's something six. It's not Sinister Six.
Is it
it's
like
not
Gail?
Spider-Man,
Is it Gail Simone? Did she write it? Do you have
possibly?
Do you have like Ratcatcher?
No, I'm on the Catman story right now.
Catman.
Yes, which I love the reinvigorated Catman, where he's no longer the fat guy that Batman beats up.
So you're on the C storyline.
I might be on the C story at this point. It's been pretty good. It's interesting, and this is why I've gotten so far within the last 2-3 days that I've been reading it. Fantastic. I've been loving it so much. I'm not, again, at the actual crisis yet, which hopefully by the next time we do this podcast, I will be.
When you get to the crisis, that story, it chugs forward, dude. It is so much stuff going on. It is, I mean, you probably already know like the main beats of the story, but like some of the things that happen, just seeing it in person, and like some of like just the way that Infinite Crisis changed the world too. Like,
I mean, the compression from multiple Earths to a single Earth,
and then from a single Earth to a multiple Earth.
Yes.
Should we give people kind of should we tell them about anything about the background of it, or do you think they should we just let them read it themselves?
I don't know who our audience base is going to be at this point. If
so Crisis on Infinite Earths ends with a couple of the Golden Age heroes kind of being trapped in a paradise world.
Yeah.
And Infinite Crisis shows us that it was not a paradise world. And it's about them being angry at how they've let the world turn. But it's kind of a meta commentary on how superhero comics got darker and how they had a chance for, they're basically in the Garden of Eden, and they let things get so dark and so bad. You have like for instance, Wonder Woman, she famously kills Maxwell Lord, like on, sorry,
Yeah.
spoilers if you haven't got there.
I've read
Yes.
past that plot.
Yeah, and things like that, like the hero shouldn't kill, the hero shouldn't do these things, and how why do they get to experience life when the Golden Age heroes don't? Um, and
Which
it
I think, if I remember right, this comic ends with the recreation of Earth 2, which is where all our Golden Age stories come from,
mhm.
right?
Also, fun fact: do you ever know? Do you know how Jason Todd came back to life? Like the real thing, like not the Lazarus pit, but how he really came back to life.
Oh yeah, reality they got punched by Superboy.
Superboy punched reality so hard that Jason
That
Todd came back to life.
I I love that as an explanation, but I don't think the Batman writers loved it.
Yeah, I don't think they did at all.
So the way at which the Batman writers explained it was Talia al Ghul came upon Jason's body and dumped him in the Lazarus pit to bring him back to life.
Yeah.
And through that, it corrupted his mind. He became everyone's favorite villain slash anti-hero.
Anti-hero.
Yes, you have Red Hood.
Okay. But I think Reality Punch is actually a way cooler way to bring back
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking
Jason Todd.
badass. He's fucking punched reality. It just showed how powerful he was,
Yeah.
and then how nerfed current Superman is
Oh, right. In comparison, it's
in
no
comparison to the
contest.
Golden Age version of all of the DC universe.
Yeah, you
I,
don't have. Yeah, I don't see Superman bringing back too many dead people with his punches.
well, yeah, good story. Definitely, I'm reading this so that I could read the other Omni that I have back there, which is Final Crisis.
Wait, you got to fit 52 in though.
I know I have this. I have 52. I
Do you want me to
have
get? Do you want? Should we get my 52s out of storage?
yes, because I'm going to need it,
Yeah.
because that leads directly into the Grant Morrison Batman run, which I
Yeah.
also have the first two Omnis of, and I need the third one to complete the
Yeah,
set.
guys, Bully Jordan, he does not have the full set of the Grant Morrison Omnis, and it's like a $30, $40 omnibus. It's gonna go out of print, and then he'll be like me with two Nightfall omnibuses. Oh, sorry, omnibus.
Omnibus, get it right.
Why
Mint
why isn't that
condition
our
comic book.
podcast name, the Omnibus?
Ooh. And
Should
then
we
it's
have our
just
fans? Should they vote? Should we be the Brave and the Boys or the Omnibus?
listen. I like Brave and the Boys, but I'd be open to Omnibus.
Okay, maybe that's will be our OnlyFan name.
Yeah, it should be.
I think if we had an OnlyFan, I can't keep posting nude photos of myself on Instagram for free.
You got to claim them.
I gotta get that paper. So yes, Infinite Crisis. I will read it. I've been wanting to read it. You need to read Crisis on Infinite Earths also.
Yes, which as soon as they make an omnibus, or has there been a release of an omni? I don't think so.
No, there is the trade paperback set.
And there's the box set.
That's what I meant. Yeah. So there's the box set, and then there's like the trade paperback, and then there's My Absolute.
Right. They did it as an absolute. You know, the box set might be the way to go. In all honesty,
You will never
I need to
ever read those side stories.
I need all the side story. I have fucking what do I have back there? I have Infinity Gauntlet back there, which is all side story, excluding the actual main run.
You're a Marvel boy.
I'm not okay. I love the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I'm not that big into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but the issue with Marvel is their stories date back to the 60s.
Yeah.
And they never do a universe reboot. For instance, like you could read a lot of different runs from Batman. You could read the 90s run with Chuck Dixon, you can read Snyder's run, and you could get a pretty good understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
For Marvel, it's just a one linear story.
Yeah.
I mean, there are little entry points where you could jump in if you kind of know who your
I
characters
mean, I
are.
feel like the Ultimate Universe is pretty like palatable.
That it is, but I also know some of the stories from that universe kind of
Yeah,
suck.
yeah,
Like the Ultimates failed,
yeah.
but that's where you get characters like Miles Morales. It's from the Ultimate Universe.
Hmm.
Which if there is a Marvel series that I would love to collect, it would be Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Ultimate Spider-Man has, if you're following the Peter Parker story, has a beginning and an end, and then a continuation with Miles Morales, which leads now into the main 616 universe for Marvel. What the fuck were we talking about?
oh yeah, I
Then we
don't
jumped
know.
into Marvel.
Yeah, we were talking about it's Infinite Crisis worth reading. We might change our name to the Omnibus. Jordan needs to finish his collection of Grant Morrison comic books.
It's not even that much. It's like $40.
Yeah, that's what I said when I about Dark Knight 3 and then sorry, Nightfall 3 and now it's $800
Yes. Which whenever you're ready to buy, Jake, I got it right over there.
for 800.
750 for you.
Oh, $75.
Add at least another zero.
Okay, you piece of shit. Okay, I guess we can talk about our last thing today before we get going. Let's talk about Invincibles. Did you see the Invincible news today?
I didn't see the news. I just know how the next episode ends.
Okay,
Mm.
so I don't know how it ends.
Oh.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Ooh.
I had a friend, my friend Chris, right?
Mm.
He loved Invincible after I got him to watch it. Immediately looked up everything about what happens in the show, about like
Mm.
the comic book story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why would you do that?
See, I didn't look it up. I had
Yeah,
known the ending to it. I love watching Comic Pop.
yeah.
If anyone is listening to us in this podcast, check out Comic Pop. Phenomenal channel. They have this whole series called Back Issues where they go over Sal explains to his friends comic books that they didn't read.
Sal's talking about Dark Knight Returns was what got me to want to read it.
Oh, I
He
love it
called
when he
him
tells his parents.
a grotesque, aristocratic bastard.
Yes. Perfect, accurate. But yes, 100% Comic Pop. That's where I learned about Invincible, was through that. They went over the first main arc of it, which is exactly what the TV show is.
Mhm.
I don't know the rest of it, and I do know there's an ending for Invincible. Just I'm
Yeah,
trying to avoid it.
yeah. I bought the compendium, and then my compendium took forever to come, and then I canceled the compendium. One, because I got impatient, but two, I am so in love with this show. I think it's the best superhero show on TV right now,
Yeah.
bar none. And I love waiting on things when it comes to TVs. Like I love having something to talk about, having something to miss, having something to wait for is
Yeah.
awesome. So the Invincible news right now is they announced that they renewed it for seasons 2 and 3.
Woo.
I believe Robert Kirkman talks about wanting the show to go 6 seasons.
Okay.
Um, and Amazon's got those Bezos bucks, so I'm pretty sure Invincible will go for the 6 seasons.
Hopefully, and I hope it doesn't overdo it like Robert Kirkman's other property, because
uh,
the comics phenomenal.
give me
Walking Dead
give me
show.
Fear of the Invincible
Yes.
of just Mark Grayson working at
It's,
the burger shop wanting his powers.
yeah, I need a prequel to when he got his powers.
Yeah,
I need from birth to then.
that's funny. But yeah, so Invincible, we're gonna get a whole bunch more Invincible coming at us. But Invincible has been fantastic. So for those of you who don't know, Invincible, and we'll do better about not talking about spoilers because Invincible is still fresh.
Yeah.
It's not 20 years, 30 years old.
Yeah, that these are the ones that we need to be careful of with,
Yeah,
and I know I won't say what the ending is for tomorrow's episode, which
yeah,
I'll definitely be watching before work tomorrow.
yeah.
Just gotta say, it's pretty good. It's not a letdown.
So for those of you that don't know, Invincible, I kind of call it like if you combine Superman with like the earnestness of Spider-Man, and it tells the story of basically Superman has a son, like their world Superman. His name is Omni-Man. He has a son who is he's like 16, 17.
Mhm.
Um,
17.
yeah, he's 17 and he develops powers, and it's the same thing as Superman. He's invincible, super strength, he can fly, all that good stuff. And it's basically his story of learning how to be a hero. Also learning that his dad might not be the hero that everybody thinks he is.
Mm.
And I think
Mm.
watch Invincible, and if your jaw doesn't drop by the end of the first episode of how violent and bloody and gruesome it gets, like, and if you're not like sold there, like, trust me, it's gonna sell you. Invincible is fantastic.
I was gonna say we could probably talk about the first episode, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's how I sell it. So basically, Superman has a son. He's like the world's greatest hero. And then at the end of the very first episode, for whatever reason, we don't know why, unless you're my friend who looked up everything, brutally murders their Justice League.
yeah, which I gotta say was probably one of the better pieces of content on the show. No fight is as unique as that one.
Yeah.
Definitely there's a lot of the big scenes, especially on the last week's episode. There's a really big fights, quite literally.
Yeah.
But that first one is definitely it draws people into to keep watching, and I know that's why I just started binging it after that first
Yeah.
fight scene, which I saw even before I had seen the first episode of the show.
Oh, you like saw a clip of it?
Yeah, David showed it to me. I was gonna say most people I think have seen that scene, even if they haven't seen Invincible.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't mind talking about at least the first episode. All the rest of the episodes phenomenal. Definitely, it keeps building upon itself and leads you into the mystery of why did he do it.
Yeah. I don't
then,
know. So my theory is
yeah.
that he just wants his son to grow strong and to be the best hero he can be to protect the Earth, and he thought that they would get in the way. But I have no idea. I legitimately don't know.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna say what parts. Just
Yeah.
yeah. It's so fun, and I do look forward to the next couple of seasons of it.
And the cast list they got for this first season,
Phenomenal.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
You got J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man, the Yellow M&M himself. Stephen Yin.
From Walking Dead.
He's gotta love Robert Kirkman, man. Robert Kirkman has given that guy so much money.
Yes.
You got Britta from Community. So Paul, you gotta watch Invincible now because you gotta support Britta.
Yes.
John Hamm plays a security guard for the White House. That's like a D-list character.
Tell me that isn't the most moving story arc in all of Invincible, though.
Right? He's about a guy who's like him and his stepson, and like they're bonding, and like
he called him dad.
He called him dad.
He called him dad for the first time. I've never felt closer to crying in that show than when he said, "Dad."
And Invincible, it's gonna make you feel things.
Yes. But yeah, great show. Love it. I'm excited to see tomorrow's episode. I want to see how they're gonna end it. Like, what's the cliffhanger? Because definitely they have to put something out there. It's gonna be good, and I hope the next couple of seasons are just as good as the first one.
Yeah, guys. So watch Invincible. Don't read Infinite Crisis unless you've read Crisis on Infinite Earths.
As well as
don't read Dark Knight Returns too.
I mean, if you're gonna read it, just keep in mind what you're getting yourself into.
Yes. Should I bully Jordan into buying a book on the podcast right now?
I will most likely buy. How much is it going for right now?
Yeah, there we go. This is how it starts.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We can all see the Japanese hentai porn from the reflection of your glasses.
Good. Let's see. Batman. Let's see, where is it? It's a little steep.
What is it?
$48.99.
Come on.
I don't even have room on the shelf.
Don't you want to read Batman Inc.?
Not really.
Don't you want to read? It's new. It's technically the New 52 continuity.
It predates New 52 continuity.
No. It like runs through.
It's the one of the only properties that runs through.
Yeah, because
Are you
Grant
are,
Morrison was like, "Fuck it."
are you gonna buy volume 2 to Snyder's Batman when
Yes,
it comes out?
yes. I want to hear my list of omnibuses that I'm allowing myself to buy for the rest of the year.
Yes. I need to know.
Okay.
Also to let you know to fill in a little bit of the quiet times, the dead air. I'm adding Grant Morrison's Batman to my cart.
And you're checking out.
Why do I have 2 in the cart now? 1.
What else is in the cart?
The second copy of it.
That's funny. Okay, here's my list. These are the 4 that I'm for sure getting this year on release dates. Justice League, the New 52 Omnibus Volume 1, which is Jeff Johns, Jim Lee. There's no way I'm not getting that. Batman by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo Omnibus Volume 2 to complete that run, which ends with Last Night on Earth, which I can't wait to see an oversized hardcover. I think the next one I'm getting is Superman by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason Omnibus. And I think this will be triple dipping because I own the single issues, the trades, and now I'll be owning the omnibus. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Superman run that I've personally read about Superman raising his son. And then lastly, can you guess what the last one is from this year?
You got Flashpoint already, right?
Yes.
What else ends out this year?
Come on. You have to know. You gotta know it. You're going to be buying it too. It's probably the only one on this list that you will for sure buy.
Is it a Crisis?
Mm-mm.
You got to tell me, what is it?
Batman No Man's Land Omnibus Volume 1.
No, man, you're right. Which, just because it's here. Oh, I got the prequel.
Take the slip cover off right now. Give the fans what they want.
Oh, I'm not gonna get a Nikki yet.
They look so much better on the shelf without the slip cover on.
It's not on. There's no room on the shelf.
Oh yeah.
That's why I haven't bought stuff.
Can we get a sponsor so Jordan can get a new shelf?
Dude, I bought this shelf from Tim. This was an expensive shelf.
Was it really? Oh. Filled with your Tunky-buns?
There's
Tunkabones?
There's no manga on it.
You got some room in the upper right corner.
It's on top shelf is books, like actual books.
Oh, get those out of there.
And then we got comics. On the bottom are my books from college.
Get those out of there.
They're gonna go in the closet.
Just like you.
Hey, I'm out of it.
Yeah, that's not PC. My bad, guys. Sorry, viewers.
Listen, I think they can handle at least one closet joke.
Yeah.
One per episode.
I also feel like I need to add on Absolute Sandman Volume 5 and Overture, which I don't think I'll ever read, but I just want to complete the set.
You need the Overture. Don't cheat yourself.
I also want to get Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters Omnibus Volume 1 before Volume 2 comes out.
Is that the one that Kevin Smith wrote?
It's got Mike Grail.
What's the one that Kevin Smith wrote?
I don't know. It does have the Longbow Hunter, so I don't know how it goes. Because I think Kevin Smith was later.
I just want to let you and everyone that listens to this, it's being delivered on Saturday.
Yay!
And sorry, Isabel.
You just alienated one of our only 2 viewers.
She's not going to listen next week.
She won't, but she'll listen for me. She likes me.
She likes me.
She loves you. I don't know if she likes you.
And after today, she's going to say, hey, he's okay.
She will?
Hopefully.
Okay, guys. I think that's our episode for tonight, right?
I think so. We went over quite a bit, I think.
We went over our 3 points. We did it.
It was a little scattered.
It was scattered, guys, but we'll get better at this.
It's the first actual one. Where there's a beginning and end versus last week, which is just the latter half of our conversation.
Yeah, like cuts right into the middle.
Basically.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for listening, guys. If you guys have any tips or suggestions or comments, we would love to hear them. This is honestly just the only way that me and Jordan get to hang out. Yes. So we thought might as well try to make a podcast out of it because we don't really get to hang out.
Try to monetize it.
I was gonna say monetize it, but I was like, let me keep this pure.
Also, just as the last little portion, honey, I did use you guys to try to see if there's any discounts I can get off the book, and Sally, there was not. Thank you for letting me know. Honey, please sponsor us. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to say.
We're gonna get a sponsor. We're gonna get it. I know we will.
Dude, I'll
But
whore myself out to whatever sponsor.
do I need like a pod?
Elgato.
Right.
Yes,
Hold on.
yes. I was
Do you
gonna
guys hear
say.
how clear Jordan's voice is on his new mic?
Wow, it's all due to the HyperX Quadcast, which you can buy at your local Best Buy right now. I feel so dirty after saying that. We're not even sponsored by
You
them.
whore. Should I sponsor? Shout out to FedEx.
All right, I gotta go.
Have a good night, man.
All right, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys. You have a good one. Good night. Bye.
Wait, hold on. Do I just click end or do I click stop recording?
Stop recording.